And we are back, and I have here the two presenters in this fascinating subject of audio ML. We heard about the work to achieve these impressive results of deep noise suppression for Skype and Teams. Then we heard about leveraging deep learnings also for speech compressions. Thank you so much, Ross and Jan, for joining us. It is a real pleasure to have you. And I'm going to jump to some questions from the audience. We have many questions, so let's see how many we can cover. So I will start with a few questions for Ross. So Shinhu is asking, I read some article on catastrophic mistake in deep noise suppression, and it may remove some meaningful speech sound like N. How to catch and analyze this kind of issue?
Right, that's a good question. One way of measuring audio quality is using an absolute category rating, ACR, and that won't catch those issues. Another way of measuring audio quality is to do a comparison rating called a CCR, and that will catch issues where you're dropping out, especially subwords like syllables or ends or even sounds where somebody's going, something like that. So there are ways of catching those.
Next question for Mike Estella, also to you, Ross.
Mm-hmm.
What is the performance impact, CPU and memory of running the ML noise suppression in real time? Is it run on the client endpoints?
It is run on the clients, and the CPU impact, say on Intel devices, is pretty minimal. It's just a few percent, usually just 1 or 2%. And to kind of gauge that, we have a fallback mechanism. If your machine isn't fast enough, we fall back to a traditional DSP-based approach. But 99% of calls, more than 99% of calls, use deep noise suppression.
So Jan, I'm jumping to a couple of questions to you. So Chema is asking, I'm curious about how low you think it makes sense to reduce the audio bitrate with the current operational mode for sending audio in RTC, assuming a low packet rate, 10 packets per second. The network overhead is 3.2 kbps. The difference between 2 kbps and 1 kbps for the audio payload seems less important.
Yeah, that is true. So there is a trade-off. And typically when you go to these low rates, you also, as I think is in the question, you tend to have longer packets, which makes the packet overhead a little bit smaller. However, the trade-off we've seen, and when we're working with Duo and other applications like that, is that going lower than maybe 4 or 5, then it doesn't matter so much anymore if you're just sending one stream with audio. However, there is also this thing with having forward error control to have it more redundant, more robust to packet loss errors. So then you can packetize with the main bit stream with high quality, but you also have you can send some redundant information about a previous packet or the next packet, depending on how you see it. And that means that you can have a low kind of a lower quality description of the audio. And that, if you can compress that as much as possible and still maintaining high fidelity, that's kind of attractive. And that's one of the applications of these low bit rates modes of sound streaming.
So Jan, we have time for one more question. So another question for you from Sandeep. Are you able to actively detect input cases that codec can't handle? The music example was extreme, but is there a way to protect against speech intent being misconfigured?
Oh, can you repeat the question?
Are you able to actively detect input cases that codec can't handle?
Oh,
yeah,
I don't know. These were that's the first generation machine learning codecs that we used. No, they can only do speech, and they can only do one. So with the new kind of generation autoencoder base, we don't really need that kind of detect what type of system it is. I think it's much more robust. So yeah, it will be more fail-safe.
Okay. Thank you again, Jan Ross. We have many, many more questions from the audience. We aggregated everything, so you will be able to answer this on the thread offline. Next, we are going to have the live panel on RTC in the metaverse.